About using absolute value to add integers. So you can use absolute value to find the sum, and remember, sum just means we're adding, right? So the sum of two integers. If the signs of two integers are the same, then you're going to add the absolute values and keep the same sign. The sum of two positive integers is positive. Okay, so this is just like math that you've always done. So 5 plus 9, we're just going to add them. 5 plus 9 is 14. Because they were both positive numbers, my answer is positive. Just like that. Now, if we have two negative numbers, the sum of two negative integers is going to be negative. So again, 5 plus 9 is still 14, but because they were both negative, then that means my answer is also going to be negative. Okay, not too bad. Here's where it gets a little tricky. When we add two numbers with different signs, so this time they're different, you're going to find the difference between their absolute values. The sum has the same sign as the number with the greater absolute value. So that just means if we have more positives or more negatives, that's going to determine the sign on our answer. So let's look at a couple of examples. So we have negative 5 plus 9. So now our signs are different. We have one negative and one positive. So if my signs are different, that means I'm finding the difference. So I'm going to take 9 minus 5. Well, the difference between 9 and 5 is 4. Now I'm going to look back at my problem. I had 5 negatives and I had 9 positives. Did I have more negatives or more positives? Well, more positives because 9 is bigger than 5 and 9 was positive, so my answer is going to be positive. Now in the next example, we have a positive 5 plus a negative 9. Again, my signs are different, so I'm going to find the difference. Well, the difference between 9 and 5 is 4. But I'm going to look back at my problem. Did I have more positives or more negatives? Well, 9 is bigger than 5, so we had more negatives. So negative is going to be on my answer, so negative 4. Okay, let's look at a couple of examples down here. So we have negative 5 plus a negative 4. Well, my signs here are the same. So if my signs are the same, remember you're finding the sum. We're just going to add them together. So 5 plus 4 is 9. And because they were both negative, my answer is going to stay a negative. Then we have negative 8 plus negative 5. Again, my signs are the same. So that means I'm going to add these two together. 8 plus 5 is 13. And we're going to keep that same negative sign. Okay, so you can think if my signs are the same, I'm finding the sum. And it's same sum. So that might help you guys to remember that. Okay, so if my signs are the same, two negatives or two positives, you're just adding those numbers and you're keeping the sign. Now let's look at this one. We have a positive 4 plus a negative 6. So now my signs are different. So that means I'm going to find the difference between these numbers. Well, the difference between 6 and 4 is 2, right? But now I have to figure out, did I have more positives or more negatives? Well, I had 6 negatives and 6 is more than 4, so I had more negatives. So that means my negative is going to go on to my answer, negative 2. Okay, so if my signs are different, we're finding the difference. Okay, so difference, different signs. So maybe that will help too. Okay. Let's go to the next one. We have a negative 2 plus a positive 2. So again, my signs are different, so I'm going to find the difference. Well, 2 minus 2 is 0, right? And 0 is one of those numbers. It's not positive or negative. It's just 0. Okay. And then we have a negative 10 plus 3. I have a negative and a positive. So my signs are different, so I'm going to find the difference. the difference between 10 and 3 is 7. Now I have to look back at my problem. Did I have more negatives or more positives? I had more negatives because I had 10 negatives and 3 positives. So my answer is going to be a negative number. Okay, our next one, 13 plus a negative 25. My signs are different. I have a positive and a negative. So I'm going to find the difference between these two. So I'm going to do 25 minus 13, which gives me 12. And then I have to look back at my problem. Did I have more positives or more negatives? I had way more negatives. 25 is more than 13, and 25 was negative. So that means my answer is going to also be a negative. All right, 6th grade. Go ahead and flip to the inside. You've got some problems to complete. When you go in and you submit these on Canvas, these aren't numbered right here, but it starts off with number 1, and then this is number 2, and then this is number 3, and this is number 4. So it goes across. So when you go to put these in on Canvas, make sure you're looking at it like that. Okay? If you have any questions, let us know.